The Maxine Unapologetically Authentic.
The ultimate showdown with your past. Have you ever come face to face with your past, replaying a memory right in front of you that seems so real that you can't tell a memory from reality? The character is different, the voice is different, but the words being uttered, the expression on the face, triggers an emotional wound that lay dormant inside of you for years. You never knew until the time was right to face it. And they always say, the kitchen is where you bring the heat. And you're like that pot right there behind me that boils. And there's a famous saying in Afrikaans saying that women love to use when they are angry, mad, furious. And they say, my bloed kook. My blood is boiling. What does that mean? You're so fueled with rage that you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control how you're responding. And that's because you've never dealt with what was lying dormant beneath the surface of your feelings. That when you face the showdown, you feel like you're out of control. And in that moment is where you lose it. You're completely out of character. You don't know how to bring yourself towards yourself. You don't want the words, calm down, you're acting a bit irrationally. You don't want to hear it because that moment is real for you. That memory is real for you. Now let me tell you about my ultimate showdown. I never saw it coming. And I thought I had dealt with everything that was in my jelly jar. Remember we spoke about the jelly jar last week. My lid popped off. The setting was completely different. The character was different. But the scene, it's like replaying a scene and reliving a scene like you're in a movie. You know, you can recite the words, you know it off by heart already. And when that scene gets replayed, to you, it's awakening something that stirs you deep inside and you're just about to explode. Because in reality, you don't know the real from the memory. And that's what happens when you don't work through it, when you don't deal with your internal turmoil. You break, you crack wide open, and trust me, that scene is not beautiful. It's ugly. You're out of character. You cannot compose yourself. You feel powerless. And what comes up? It comes up, we call it control. It's not control. When you feel powerless, you bring up your defenses. And what does your defenses look like? And I'm talking to you, ladies, my queens, that have dropped their crowns. Or maybe you think you dropped your crown. How do you pick it up again? Let me tell you something. When you're in that moment, your defenses looks like you're cursing. It looks like you're slapping someone in the face. It looks like you have lost all senses of who you are, what you stand for, and how you respect people. Because all you know is, I'm going to defend myself at all costs. And I don't care who sees me, how they see me. I just don't give a damn. That's what happens. What did my ultimate showdown look like? It looked like a scene from a movie. Just this was my own movie from years ago. When I had to face those same words, you're acting crazy. You didn't get over it. I'm done with this. It makes you feel worthless. It makes you feel powerless. It makes you feel like nobody talks to me that way. Nobody comes at me because you're lost in a memory. You can't tell the reality around you. I used to think that I had to be in control all the time. That wasn't control. That was acting out from defenses. Because you constantly need to protect yourself from people that come up as memories from your past. And they call this shadow work. It's something that I listened to from podcasts. And I did some research to find out, what is this? Why am I faced with my past? And it's coming up ugly, and it's coming up visually, and it's coming up, and I don't know how to deal with it. It means every time, it's like playing a video game. Every time you reach the next stage, you unlock new features, new rewards. Now that's what happens to us in real life. Every time you are ready to face what's breaking you, what hurts you, because you want to heal from it, you face something from your past. You can't control the timing. You can't control the outcome. If we could, we would be superhuman, but we're not. I couldn't control it. All I knew was, in that moment, I'm going to defend myself with everything I've got in me. I need to fight. You don't need to fight. You don't need to be in control. You need to acknowledge what is happening. And I learned this. This is a super awesome trick. Pause. Because when you pause in that moment, and it's not easy, trust me, it's not easy to halt and ask yourself, is this my reality? Or is this a blast from the past that I haven't dealt with? When you pause, what happens in that moment is you become aware of where you are, who you're with, and how you're going to respond. You be still in that moment. And you pause for as long as you need to, so that you can act from your true self, not from your pain, not from your past. Because sometimes the person in front of us is not the person that inflicted the pain. Sometimes the person in front of us is the healer. But we don't see it as the healer. We see it as, you're coming at me. If you're coming at me, I'm going to clap back. And I'm going to clap back hard. When you pause, you get to see the reality for what it is. This is not who I'm fighting with. This is not that past memory. This is my reality. And I have a choice. How I'm going to respond, how I'm going to react. And that, my dear queens, comes with wisdom. I had to write what I lived through in each and every chapter in order to heal. And trust me, it's not a once-off thing. It's not like I'm making a once-off payment, now it's a done deal. No. It comes up like flashbacks. Then you're in a scene, then you're not. Then you're in reality, then you're not. But you have to constantly and intentionally choose how would I like to proceed in order to heal? Because we do want a good life. We do want a healthy life. You do want to experience that healthy love. You also want to give your all from a healthy, conscious, healed place. Not constantly responding. Listen to me. The Lord could be sending you your angel Gabriel, and you will think that that's coming from hell because you haven't healed. And when we step back and pause and really think about it, you'll be surprised at the lesson you're learning from this person. And it comes year after year after year. Every time you don't deal with something, inside, you'll always be faced with the showdown until you learn the lesson. I never understood what people meant when they said that. You will always face it in a different form, in a different character, in a different scene, until you deal with it. To go through it, to overcome it, you need to go through it. And that's lessons. Doesn't come with a handbook. No one can teach you this. You need to learn. These are life lessons. And the more you become aware, the more you awaken what I'm feeling. Is it my past? Is it my reality? Life reveals itself in an ugly way, but in a healthy way. You start to navigate the differences. You can be in the present and tell that past, I'm not ready to deal with you now in this moment. But I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing to be respectful towards myself. I'm choosing to act out of love because this moment is not my reality. But I know now where it's coming from. And I know I am going to go through it because I want to heal from it, to be a better version for myself. It's not always the easiest. Sometimes you need to isolate yourself. And when I say isolate, it comes in the form of solitude. Because sometimes, I know from my own experience, even having music on in the house, it sounded like people were banging pots against my brain. It was just too much. It was just too loud. Being in solitude means you go within. You identify all of that garbage like a pick-it up truck that you have been just putting. And it feels that moment when you decide, I'm going to deal with it because I want to overcome it. So I'm going to go through it. You literally feel like you want to puke. You want to vomit out emotions because that's how sickening it makes you feel. Some of us end up in ICU, sometimes in a mental institution, because we don't know what's making us feel this ill. But the answers lies within. You all have the answers, my queens. You just need to face reality. You just have to acknowledge that past doesn't determine your future. Sometimes, and I know it's hard to hear, when you want to put on this brave face Sometimes they call you cold. Sometimes they call you emotionless. Sometimes they call you heartless. And sometimes they call you disrespectful. Because those are the gloves that you put up, your defenses, to stay in control. You don't have to stay there. And then there's this hymn that I remember that got me through it. There's room at the cross for you. Though millions have come, there is still room for one. Yes, there is room at the cross for you. My queens, it's not the end. Pick up your crown. Place it right back on your head where it belongs. Straighten it out, because your walk is not alone. Your challenges are similar to millions out there. There is a way through it. You learn those lessons. They come with wisdom. They look like solitude. They look like a cup of tea. It looks like gardening. It looks like my personal favorite, cooking, where I can pour my love into a meal that I prepare, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your kids, whether it's for your family. It's made with love. That's the place you want to operate from and live from. Love. There is room at the cross for you. Till we meet again. Ta-ta.
The Maxine Unapologetically Authentic.